Gunther reserved the couch. They just got lucky with the couch every single time. Here's the thing. Nobody questions. 10 seasons. Hundreds of episodes. 6 people in the most expensive city on Earth always got the exact same sofa in a packed coffee shop. Every single day. How? Look at this. Freeze frame almost any Central Perk scene. There's a yellow reserved sign on the coffee table. It's been there since season 1. Most people never notice because the camera never draws attention to it. And James Michael Tyler, who played Gunther, was asked about this in 2019. His response: "It makes a lot of sense in retrospect. There are a lot of little Easter eggs in there that people will be looking for years to come." Gunther was madly in love with Rachel. He gave Joey his job back the instant Rachel asked. He showed up at her birthday, at Phoebe's wedding. A man that devoted? He absolutely reserved that couch every morning for 10 years, just for her. Remember this detail about Gunther? It connects to something much bigger later. Joey and Phoebe were secretly hooking up the whole time. Joey and Phoebe were just really close friends. The evidence comes directly from the actor. In 2015, Matt LeBlanc told People magazine, "Towards the end, we pitched the idea that Joey and Phoebe had been having casual sex the entire time. We'd go back and shoot all the historical scenes. Just before a moment everyone recognizes, there's Joey and Phoebe coming out of a broom closet together." But they were like, nah. Lisa Kudrow was sitting next to him. She didn't deny it. She smiled. The producers rejected it. They never filmed those scenes, but LeBlanc and Kudrow had already been playing their characters with that secret in mind. They always have inside jokes. They take naps together. Joey is wildly protective of Phoebe. They kiss on screen twice, and both times it's totally natural, like they've done it before. Now, co-creator David Crane said 3 in-group couples would be a mistake. But the actors, they'd already been playing it as real. Ross, Joey, and Chandler are the Freudian trio. The 3 guys are just different personalities. Sigmund Freud split the human psyche into 3 parts: ID, ego, and superego. When you look at Ross, Joey, and Chandler through that lens, it's almost too perfect to be accidental. Joey is the id, raw desire, no impulse control. Every decision driven by immediate pleasure, food, women, more food. He can't share food. He doesn't think about consequences. The show celebrates it. Ross is the ego. He rationalizes everything. We Were on a Break is the ego constructing a logical framework to justify chaos. Ross is always trying to be reasonable, even when he's deeply unreasonable. Chandler is the superego, guilt-ridden, self-policing, obsessed with social norms. He locks himself in a box as punishment when he betrays Joey. Matthew Perry refused to film Chandler cheating on Monica in Vegas because he knew the audience would never forgive it. The superego refusing to cross a moral line, even off camera. This isn't coincidence, it's the architecture of the show. Rachel and Chandler met 4 times before the pilot. Rachel walked into Central Perk and met the gang for the first time. Watch the pilot. Monica introduces Rachel to everyone like she's brand new. Chandler acts like he's never seen her before. Here's what's wild. He had, at least 4 times. Meeting 1, Thanksgiving 1987. The one with all the Thanksgivings. Season 5, Episode 8. Chandler and Rachel at the same dinner. Neither remembers. Meeting 2. That same Thanksgiving, Chandler calls Monica fat. Rachel is standing right there. Meeting 3. College party. The one where the stripper cries. Season 10, Episode 11. Chandler and Rachel make out. He puts her to bed after she passes out. She wakes up in his dorm. Still doesn't remember him in the pilot. Meeting 4. Bar flashback in The One with the Flashback. Season 3, Episode 6. 1 year before the pilot. Chandler tries to flirt. She brushes him off. Officially, they looked different. Unofficially, this is one of the most jaw-dropping continuity collapses in television history. Mark deliberately sabotaged Ross and Rachel. Mark from Bloomingdale's was just a nice colleague who helped Rachel. Look at Mark's actions and the Ross-Rachel saga looks completely different. Mark helps Rachel get the Bloomingdale's job. Ross becomes paranoid. The jealousy poisons everything. Then, during the break, Mark shows up at Rachel's apartment. He's loud, he's there. Ross calls at that exact moment, hears Mark's voice, and sleeps with Chloe that same night. Mark's visit is the trigger for the entire "we were on a break" incident. Here's what nobody noticed. Mark didn't accidentally show up. His timing in The One with the Morning After, Season 3, Episode 16, isn't random. It's surgical. Every single time Ross and Rachel get close, Mark appears. Every time Mark appears, a crisis follows. This isn't confirmed, but the evidence is hard to ignore. His interest in Rachel was never purely professional. He was playing a long game, and he almost won. Phoebe was a CIA or KGB agent. Phoebe is just a quirky, free-spirited masseuse. When you compile everything Phoebe casually drops about her past, the list reads like a classified dossier. She stabbed a cop. She spent time in jail. She's been in missile training when they taught military time. She's fluent in multiple languages, French, Italian, with no formal education. She has no paper trail, no documented childhood, no school records. She dated Ryan the Submariner, a Navy guy deployed for years, and an energy scientist in Minsk. She mentions, in 6 months, the statute of limitations runs out, and I can travel internationally again. She references money in Zurich. She has a repeatedly mentioned alias. She knows boxing. She was tortured and held up well. She dated the ambassador of an Eastern European country. Her cover? Part-time masseuse, no fixed income, constantly available in Manhattan. The CIA recruits people with no family attachments and unconventional histories. The creators denied it, but look at the show. No writer accidentally loads one character with this many intelligence-adjacent details. We've seen the fun side of these theories, the warm, nostalgic stuff that makes you want to rewatch a favorite episode. Now let's look at the ones that actually change everything you thought you knew. Ross lost custody of Ben. Ben just kind of faded into the background as the show focused on other stories. Ben Geller's last appearance, Season 8, Episode 12, the one where Joey dates Rachel. After that, nothing. He isn't there when Emma is born. He never meets her on screen, not once in the final 54 episodes. In the Season 8 finale, Jack Geller walks into the hospital, sees Emma, and says, "My first grandchild." Ross awkwardly corrects him. "Dad, what about Ben?" Jack stammers. The grandfather forgot his own 7-year-old grandson existed. That's the show telling you Ben has already been erased. Cole Sprouse, who played Ben, told GQ, "Critics would agree Ross was never really the most present father, so it doesn't surprise me too much." The evidence. Ross sleeps with a student, tries to kiss his cousin, the "my sandwich" breakdown, the rage. Carol saw it all. When Rachel got pregnant, Ben disappeared. The timing is not coincidence. Monica's real father isn't Jack Geller. Judy Geller was just a harsh, critical mother with no real reason for it. Throughout 10 seasons, Judy Geller treats Ross like the son and Monica like a constant disappointment. She criticizes Monica's weight, cooking, relationships, life choices. With Ross, nothing but pride. The difference is so extreme the show plays it as a running joke. But what if it isn't a joke? What if Judy's resentment is rooted in something she can't say out loud? Came the theory, Judy had an affair. Monica is the result. Judy can't look at Monica without seeing what she did. The guilt has curdled into coldness. Ross is Jack's biological son, so Jack and Judy pour everything into him. This explains everything. The physical differences, Judy's specific emotional distance, never really warm, even when Monica succeeds. The way Judy fawns over Ross's minor achievements while dismissing Monica's. Every time Judy looks at Monica, she sees a secret she's kept for 30 years. This isn't confirmed, but the evidence is hard to ignore. Phoebe is a secret genius. Phoebe is the lovable, ditzy one who believes in ghosts and past lives. Phoebe Buffay never went to high school. She lived on the streets as a teenager after her mother died by suicide. She is, by every measure, the least formally educated person in the group. And yet, she speaks multiple languages fluently, French, Italian. She accurately predicts major events the rest miss, including Monica and Chandler's relationship, before anyone suspects it. She manipulates situations with precision. She convinces Ross, a paleontologist with a PhD, that evolution might be flawed. He can't shut her down. She runs her own business, manages finances in Manhattan, negotiates, strategizes. When she wants something, she gets it, through routes the group would never consider. Officially, she's the quirky one. Unofficially, the quirky act is the most sophisticated social camouflage in the show. The quirkiness is the point. Nobody suspects the person singing about a smelly cat of running circles around them. If these theories are changing how you see Friends, subscribe for more deep dives like this. We go inside the shows you grew up with and find the things the writers hid in plain sight. The Tommy Westphall Universe Connection Friends is its own self-contained world. Lisa Kudrow started on Mad About You as Ursula Buffay, the same character who became Phoebe's twin. The two shows are in the same universe. Characters cross over in Season 1. Mad About You also features Cosmo Kramer from Seinfeld. Kramer and Ursula are in the same world. Here's the thread that unravels everything. You need Detective John Munch from Homicide. Life on the Street. Appeared in over 10 TV shows across 22 years. Law and Order, The Wire, Arrested Development. The X-Files. Homicide crossed over with St. Elsewhere in the 90s. In St. Elsewhere's finale, the entire show was revealed to exist inside the mind of an autistic boy named Tommy Westphall, staring at a snow globe containing the hospital. A dream. Friends connects to Mad About You, to Seinfeld, to Homicide through Munch, to St. Elsewhere. All of Friends exists inside Tommy Westphall's imagination. Over 400 shows fall inside the Tommy Westphall universe. Friends is in it. They bought the Home Alone house. Monica and Chandler just moved to a generic suburban house in Westchester. In season 10, Monica and Chandler buy a house in the suburbs. They bring Joey to convince him it's not so bad. You only see the inside briefly, but eagle-eyed fans noticed something. The view from the windows looked exactly like the neighborhood from Home Alone. Not kind of similar, identical. The same blue garage of the Murphy house across the street, and the same wreath on the door of the neighboring property. Frame by frame, it matches. This isn't confirmed as intentional, but it's confirmed as real. The show's art director, Darren Janes, who worked on 209 episodes, responded to the viral video. "I was the art director on Friends, and the house was a set. We used the backing from Pacific Studios, which was made for Home Alone because it looked the best through the door and windows. Monica and Chandler moved into Kevin McAllister's house." That's the art director confirming it. The Asylum/group therapy theory. Central Perk is just a coffee shop. The apartments are just apartments. The theory: all 6 friends are patients in the same mental health facility. Central Perk is the common room. The apartments are their wards. Their eccentricities aren't personality quirks. They're clinical presentations. Monica has textbook OCD, cleaning, competition, control. Phoebe displays symptoms consistent with schizophrenia, voices, past lives, to conversations with her dead mother's spirit. Joey shows developmental regression, childlike reasoning, inability to plan ahead, emotional immaturity that never resolves. Chandler's anxiety disorder is his entire personality. Ross's narcissism and rage issues are documented across every season. Here's what supports it. They almost never interact with the outside world for sustained periods. Strangers are treated with suspicion. Their social circle is hermetically sealed. They are always available for each other, no matter what time, no matter what's happening. The theme song? I'll Be There For You. In this reading, it's a group therapy mantra, a pact between 6 people who only have each other. The Phoebe fever dream theory. Phoebe is a main character in the story. This links back to everything: the Gunther theory, the group therapy theory, and something Phoebe herself says in season 5. The theory was posted on Twitter in 2015 and went globally viral. The entire 10 seasons is a hallucination experienced by a homeless, drug-addicted Phoebe. She stands on the street outside Central Perk, staring through the window at 5 strangers, and projects herself into their lives. She invents a version where she belongs, where she has friends, where she is loved. The evidence: in The One with the Kips, Season 5, Episode 5, Rachel tells Phoebe if Ross and Emily's marriage works, Phoebe would lift right out of the group. "You don't live in the building, you don't work with us." Theorists argue this is the dream cracking, Phoebe's subconscious breaking through, reminding her she doesn't belong. Co-creator Marta Kaufman called this theory terrible, insane, and the saddest thing I've ever heard. She didn't call it wrong, she called it heartbreakingly dark. There's a difference. So let's bring it back. 13 theories. Some fun, some dark, some confirmed by accident by the people who made the show. Gunther put that sign there for Rachel. Joey and Phoebe were maybe hooking up the whole time. Ross, Joey, and Chandler are literally Freud's psyche made flesh. Rachel and Chandler's entire history was rewritten by flashbacks and nobody noticed. Mark sabotaged one of television's greatest love stories on purpose. Phoebe might have been a spy. Ross probably lost his son. Ina Monica might not be a Geller. Phoebe is smarter than all of them. And then, the show you grew up with is inside a child's snow globe. Monica and Chandler moved into Kevin McAllister's house. All 6 of them might be in group therapy. And the whole thing might be a dream had by a woman standing alone on a New York sidewalk. That is Friends. That is what was hiding underneath 10 seasons of coffee and laughter. The next time you put Friends on, and you will, look a little closer. The show rewards it. The writers knew what they were doing, even when they didn't. And some of the best things hidden in that series were never meant to be found at all. Oh, and one more thing. Go back to the pilot. Look at the coffee table. The reserved sign? It's there. From minute 1. Gunther never stopped loving her, not even for a second.